What's good, kings and queens? We're going to talk about cancer here and what it is and how it links up to the language and how to fix it, how to alleviate people from their suffering from the dis-ease. And again, I've said this before, cancer is your friend. It lets you know that you've been doing something that you shouldn't be doing, and you should probably discontinue doing that and remove the offense from the body, to remove the cancerous growth from the body. And it's not just through cutting and burning and poisoning. There's easier ways to do it. There's easier ways to move things down the trail and out the back door. And this has to do with antioxidants and the misnomer of what they are and why we need to be looking in the other direction, to oxidants. So let me just talk through the word cancer and its connection to the grimoire and magic and what goes on in the physical form. So the word cancer is from can and ser. Ser, you say to someone that is knighted. Ser is what you call a male. And so ser is Ser-Pent. A pent is a pentagram, is five-sided. It's to do with the phi-cycle universe, the physical universe. So the serpent energy, it's just that. It's energy of the serpent. There's nothing wrong with the serpent. The serpent is all across symbology, and it has to do with the energy that's held within the snake and what's going on inside of your body. There's energy there. And serpent means, you can look at serpent as the energy, and then you can look at a pentagram. And so what a pentagram is, it's a pentagram. Gram is not just a unit of weight, but it's in the beginning of grammar. So a grimoire, the grammar, is the spelling of the pent. So a pentagram is the symbology of the grammar of the pent, or what is pent up. And some things go in a pen, like in the ink of a pen. So when you're writing the grimoire, you're writing the grammar. You're using the pen to produce something, to produce an idea on paper or papacy. I don't want to go too far that direction with this, because anybody that's watched my other videos has a pretty good clue as to how this language works. But I want to get right back to what cancer is. A cancer is a can of stored up energy. Now that energy that is stored up, and that DNA, is not like the rest of the energy in your body. It's held there in a knot. It's held there, and it's a growth that shouldn't be there. But it's not harming most people until it becomes overrun, and it overruns the body. But that can of energy is just stored up, pent up energy that can be removed and can be used. So the can of Ser is a can of serpent energy. And it's all like a serpent. It's all wound up and bound up. And we need to straighten that out. We need to unfurl the snake energy. You unfurl the cancer and let it go out of your body and out of the back door. And this has to do with people's dis-ease, which is often in the form of parasites. And parasites always look like worms, always look like snakes. And it's called a pair of sights. It means your sight and their sight. A location or eyes. What they see and what is going on in your body. And it's the growth that cancer cell, it wants to grow. But if you don't give it the things to grow with, then it won't grow. And if you give it the things that will move it out of the body, then it will go out of the body. It doesn't have a brain. Its only idea is to continue to grow, or to go somewhere where it can grow. So This cancer that is in people's bodies, I would guess that just about everybody has some forms of cancer in their body, and it's not harming anyone. It's just there, and it's to get rid of it, so that way you have an energy system that is fluxing and works better. There's nothing that's clogging you up or in the way. It's just like in your house. If you have cans of garbage, it's not hurting anyone, but as soon as it starts to overflow out of that can, then it gets into the bloodstream, it gets into your house, and it starts to make a mess. And then it becomes overrun with that. And then cleaning it up is much more difficult. So as I was talking about antioxidants, people always say, get these antioxidants. You need antioxidants, especially if you have cancer. That's absolutely 180 degrees in the wrong direction. Oxidation comes from oxygen. Oxygen is the breakdown of things until it rusts. If you oxidize something, it rusts and it pulls it apart. And if you have iron in your blood and there's cancer in your system, you want to break that apart. You want to oxidize that to remove it from your body. So obviously, fresh air will help. And things that you can put in your body that have more oxygen or more alkaline, that's a whole nother story, but to alkalize your body or to oxygenate it, to oxidize the things in your body is what you want to do. But if you do it too quickly, you can hurt yourself. So this is why things like hydrogen peroxide, which is just water with more oxygen in it, you can cause a backup in your organs. You can cause your blood to be very, very dirty because you've been breaking down that garbage can, and as you're taking the garbage out of your house, the bag rips open and it goes all over the place. And now there's more of a mess to clean up. And so now you feel bad, your eyes start to hurt, and whatever occurs during that removal, if it doesn't get done in a proper way, as you oxidize it and break it apart in a very simple fashion. You can do this just through breathing. And if you're going to do it with breathing, if you want to remove something, you need a lot of water, because the water is what's going to surround that cancerous outgrowth and pull it out of the body through the back door. So this connection, once again, because I always get into this language, because the spelling and the grammar means so much, it's coded in everything to just let you know what's going on, so then you can override and control and adjust the system. And this gets into people's idea of how a placebo effect works, or a nocebo effect. A placebo and a nocebo are just the opposite, that the opposite things happen. So placebo is something that happens that the doctors didn't expect. They say, oh, well, how did that occur? Well, because the mind was right, or there's so many variables that they couldn't possibly consider all the scenarios of what that person or what that entity might have been doing to cleanse themselves. But usually it has something to do with the mindset of the patient. And obviously, if we can steer things, we can help things by changing our mindset and adjusting our internal frequency with tones and vibrations, and moving things along out of our system with water. And as I'll always say, distilled water, because it's clean, it's empty, it's going to grab onto those inorganic elements, which are the cancers stored up in your body that need to be removed. People that have cancer almost always, if not always, have been putting inorganic, unorganized matter, material, and frequencies into their system through their mouth, their nose, their eyes, and their ears. The things that they watch that disturb them, the things they listen to that disturb them and dis-ease them, the things they smell that dis-ease them, and the things mostly that are in the physical format that they stick into their mouth that cause them dis-ease, that are inorganic or have been cooked and burnt, and all the nutrition. And once again, nutrition means nut. It means the light. It means the code of the light that unfurls the seed in the earth that came from the lux. The lux is the sun. The lux of the sun and the water of the earth, which produces a memory, go into that seed and unfurl it. And so when you eat of the seeds, and when you eat the water, you drink the water, and you eat the fruits with the juices and the blood of those fruits, the nectar of that will help to cleanse your temple. But everybody continues to put the things that dehydrate them in themselves. And they continue to want to put salt in the water. Yet salt is the offense. Salt gets in the way of the healing. That's just that simple. And until you're completely healthy, you should not consider what kind of salts you want to add to your body until you can individually add them and see what kind of effect they have on your system. So by cleansing the body with the correct herbs, with the correct, again, it's just putting more distilled water in your system. And movement patterns and light, getting out and walking, looking at the sunshine. Now this light that enters the body, I've gotten into many other things of different types of herbs that will glow in the dark. That they have a light code in them that literally destroys diseased cells. Or maybe not even destroys them, but shines light onto an inorganic or diseased property. And then the blood cells, the good ones in the body, the white ones, go and surround that and remove it out of the back door or out of the skin even. Out of the quickest way out of the body. So when people start to have acne or diarrhea or certain aches and pains, these are things that are getting removed from the body so that it can get rebuilt with the proper nutrition and proper light codes. So this grammar, this pentagram that we live in, look at your feet. You have 2 legs, 2 arms, and a head. There's your pentagram that you live in. You live in a phi cycle world, a physical world. And the physical has to do with the phi, which has to do with the spiral, which is spirituality, and getting out of a loop. And that loop, or that ring, has to do with time, and that time is Father Saturn, the rings of Saturn. And when you get out of that ring, you obtain the ring, because you see how the ring works. And that ring is also a sound of a bell, the sound of the ball. So clean your bowels, and you can hear the sounds in your ears of your different organs playing. And as you collect these rings and these sounds and these tones, you'll be able to hear each one of your organs and what it's saying. Because it's playing a harmonic. It's called an organ for a reason. And so these foods that we eat will help to allow us vowels to speak properly. And as you clean your system out, it's easier to do. The grammar and the grimoire are all part of the pentagram. That's why you have a mouth to speak with, to sing with, to do things with. Not just to shovel hot dogs and hamburgers and nonsense down your gullet into Baal's world. You shovel these things down to Baal, and Baal says, "Oh, here comes some more of that again. What to do with it?" Baal would like the nice things too. Everybody thinks Baal he's in the fiery inferno, the bile, the bowels. He's down there and he's burning everything off. He's doing you a favor. But everybody keeps putting, and because he'll accept it, he'll accept whatever you put in your mouth and goes down there, and he'll work with it. But when you give him the weakest substances to build your temple with, no wonder he has leftovers. He has to put it somewhere. I'll put that over there in that can, in that trash can. Sir, can you put it in that cancer? Can you put it over there in that trash can? Because we can't get it all out of the body right now. We can't build anything more with this. This is weak material. And there's your cancer. If you remove all of those things, he'll go back and find, what's the last thing that we just put over there? Can we build with it? He'll grab it. And now the river's running because you have water in your system. He'll grab it and he'll go, okay, what do we do with this? Do we have to build anything? Or, just throw it out the back door. This is trash. Okay, get rid of it. Until your body is cleansed. And then you start offering the things from the highest source. Meaning you reach up with your elbow, and you grab the fruit, and it goes into your stomach. And then your bowels, bows back. And then he gives you a vowel to speak. So if you put the right harmonics in your system, the bright, wonderful, delicious fruit that's out there in nature, the vegetation that's there, not running from you, that's offered to you in your temple, to make communion with you, to be your blood, because it's perfectly fit for your consumption. That will help to rebuild your body. Stop burning the things. These burnt offerings are supposed to be materials, plant life, that are respected, that are lit on fire and consumed through the smoke, through the mist of it. There's nutrition in that smoke. I'm not suggesting everybody to go out there and start smoking everything, but it does have its value. There are plenty of ways to ingest herbs, whether you distill them and put them into alcohol, whether you put them into an oil, whether you put them into a vinegar, or whether you burn them. However you'd like to do that, there's ways to get the essence, the life force, the energy, the chi, the prana, the wisdom of the plant into your system. And if all you're doing is burning a piece of meat and sticking it into your temple, there is no information, there is no wisdom, there is no protein, there is nothing left in it. It becomes cancer, and that's why Baal puts it where he does. So if anybody has any more questions about this cancer thing, please get at me and I'll continue this on and see what we can explore. If you have any specifics of how to get rid of a specific type of cancer that you might have, we can explain and show you how simple the technique is. It's just about taking control of yourself and the things that you jam into your mouth and jam into your eyeballs through the silly shows. And again, this isn't saying that you can't participate in watching the TV or eating of certain things. It's knowing how much of an addiction you have to it and knowing what its uses are, excuse me. So I hope this was informative for everyone, and hope you all have a good day. Cheers.